Thousands of years ago all across the world a revolution was beginning. Not a revolution against a government, but against a way of life. This revolution would change the way humans live for thousands of years. The revolution was called the Neolithic Revolution, and it was when people started farming for the first time. These were the people who had the courage to change their entire way of life, which had been the dominant strategy for hundreds of thousands of years. This was a huge deal because people did not have to follow animal herds around and hope they got one. With farming there was a regularity to food, and it allowed people to have more kids and do more than just hunt. This was the birth of civilization as we know it. The Danubian cultures in Europe began to emerge as a part of this Neolithic revolution. But who were these people and what happened to them? The Danubian cultures existed during the Neolithic and Chalcolithic periods, spanning approximately from 5500 BC to 2200 BC. They existed largely on the banks of the Danube River due to its fertile ground. Now let's travel back in time and explore 5 of these early civilizations sprouting up along the Danube. The first Danubian culture we are discussing is the Cucuteni-Trypillia culture. Flourishing between approximately 5500 and 2750 BC, the Cucuteni-Trypillia culture was one of the largest and most advanced prehistoric cultures in Europe. Known for their advanced agricultural practices, impressive pottery, and intricate settlements, they inhabited a vast territory spanning parts of modern-day Ukraine, Moldova, and Romania. The settlements show evidence of a division of labor, with specialized craftsmen and artisans producing pottery, tools, and other goods. Some researchers suggest that the society may have been relatively egalitarian, with a lack of significant social hierarchy. The next Danubian culture on this list is the Tysopolgar culture. Dating back to the Middle Neolithic period, approximately 5000 to 4000 BC, the Tysopolgar culture developed in the eastern part of the Danube basin. They are notable for their characteristic pottery, often adorned with intricate painted designs depicting animals, humans, and geometric patterns. The Tysopolgar culture had distinct burial practices. They often buried their dead in cemeteries near the settlements. The deceased were typically placed in a flexed position within pit graves. Grave goods, such as pottery vessels, stone tools, and animal bones, were sometimes placed alongside the deceased, indicating a belief in an afterlife or the importance of accompanying items in the journey to the afterlife. The linear pottery culture, also known as LBK, was another prominent Neolithic culture that existed in Central Europe from approximately 5500 to 4500 BC. It derived its name from the characteristic linear pottery that the culture produced. The LBK was known for its agricultural practices, particularly the cultivation of crops such as wheat, barley, and peas. The culture is characterized by its distinct pottery adorned with incised or impressed lines, geometric patterns, and animal motifs. The LBK settlements were typically organized in linear villages, and they made significant contributions to the development of farming communities in the region. Considering the distribution and density of linear pottery culture sites across Central Europe, some scholars have estimated the total population at its peak to be tens of thousands or possibly even hundreds of thousands of people. However, these estimates are speculative and subject to revision as new archaeological discoveries and research emerge. The bell beaker culture, prevalent from around 2800 to 1800 BCE, was spread across various parts of Europe, including the Danubian region. They are characterized by their bell-shaped pottery vessels, which often contained grave goods and were found in burials. The bell beaker culture had significant influence in terms of material culture and possibly migration movements. The bell beaker culture is characterized by its distinctive material culture, including the aforementioned beakers, as well as other artifacts such as arrowheads, copper daggers, wrist guards, and stone wrist guards. They also had a distinct burial tradition, with individuals often buried in single graves, along with a range of grave goods. The Vinca culture, which developed after the Staro culture, flourished in the Balkans between 5500 and 4500 BC. The Vinca site, also located in present-day Serbia, is one of the largest and most complex Neolithic settlements in Europe. It features well-organized dwellings, pottery kilns, and various artifacts, including the famous Vinca symbols, an early form of proto-writing. The culture is renowned for its distinctive pottery, which is characterized by elaborate decorations and intricate designs. The pottery often featured geometric patterns, zoomorphic and anthropomorphic figures, and symbolic motifs. These sites provide valuable insights into the cultural, technological, and social aspects of the Danubian cultures and their predecessors. They help archaeologists and historians piece together the story of early agricultural communities and the emergence of complex societies in Europe. The transition to an agricultural way of life allowed for increased food production, population growth, and the development of more sophisticated cultural practices. The shift from hunting and gathering to farming not only provided a more reliable food source, but also created the conditions for surplus production, trade, and specialization of labor, which further contributed to the development of complex societies. The availability of fertile land along the banks of the Danube River and its tributaries provided favorable conditions for early agricultural practices. The sedentary lifestyle brought about by farming led to the establishment of permanent settlements and the development of more complex social structures. As communities became more settled, they were able to invest more time and resources into the construction of larger and more elaborate dwellings, the production of pottery, and the development of other crafts. The decline of the Danubian cultures, however, is still not known for certain. While there is no definitive answer, several theories have been proposed to explain their decline. The first theory is migration patterns, cultural shifts, and interactions with other groups could have led to the blending and transformation of the Danubian way of life. Another theory regarding the disappearance of the Danubian cultures is that environmental factors, such as climate change, shifts in river patterns, or changes in agricultural practices, may have had a significant impact on the sustainability of the Danubian cultures. Warfare and conflict with neighboring groups could have played a role in the decline of the Danubian cultures. Increased competition for resources, territorial disputes, or external invasions might have disrupted their social structures and caused population movements. Although we may never know how these cultures ended, their impact on human history is profound. We have these people to thank that we do not have to run around outside all day trying to catch dinner. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more.